The Yankees, on the other hand, they're 2-1 since the break, winning record. They took 2 out of 3 from Atlanta in very difficult fashion. 55-46 overall, 6-4 in their last 10. 3 games back at Toronto, looking to be 4, and they are 2 up on wild card 1 in the American League. Now I know they're 2-1 since the break. That first game out where they let off with an opener was embarrassing, and then going down 7-2 in the second game back, you clawed your way back and won, but those are some things you can't have happen.
Yeah, and then, the game that's happened tonight as we're recording, it's not over, but uh, the errors by the team are just unacceptable. They're not playing good baseball. I know they're 2-1, and due to the amount of pop in their lineup, they were able to come back in that game versus Atlanta. But they should realistically be 1-2 on their way to 1-3. I thought for sure when they opened post All-Star break with an opener that a trade was coming. I thought, okay, let me not overreact. Maybe
Right.
there's a move coming that's going to lead to this, and there hasn't been. And now I'm kind of like, okay, what were we doing? Similar to what I said about the Philadelphia Phillies. Are the Yankees fine if the goal is making the playoffs? I think so. I think the lineup's too good, and Fried and Rodon are good enough that this team, as currently constructed, would make the playoffs. Are they World Series contenders? In the AL, I think the lineup could get hot enough that they could get there, but I would not have faith in them to win it if they did get there. And for there's at least a clear sense of direction similar to the Phillies. You need another starting pitcher. You need some bullpen arms. 2 would be ideal, 2 high level. And you need somebody that you could play at third base every day and believe won't be a net negative out there. We could go as high as Eugenio Suarez. We could go as low as a Brian Hayes. And I'm fine with whatever the option is there, but it has to be somebody that I don't think is going to be a problem in the lineup.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. I don't know. Like we said before, I want to go all in on pitching. Although today's giving me a lot of
I mean,
pause.
they have to get a third baseman.
I mean, I feel
I
like
don't. I'm not saying you have to pay up and pay heavy, and maybe you go to one of those teams that you were talking about where they have more depth pieces, or what was it, Heyman, Ahmed Rosario, like
yeah,
like he brings him up every deadline for the Yankees, but maybe this is the one where it's like, hey, we went all in on the bullpen, but we knew that we needed a third baseman, so we just went out there and got a guy that can play third base every day, and that was the end of the
right.
list.
Or
You
even a
know,
Brian Hayes at that point.
I mean, and a Willie Castro. If you're going to make a deal with the Twins for some of their bullpen arms, he's kind of their version of an Oswaldo Cabrera. Like, fine, like a guy that can go out there every single day. If you went out and made a deal with Cleveland, and you went out and got a Class A, could you bring back a David Fry to play third base every day? Something.
For
Or go
both of you, what
bigger.
would be the biggest need? Like you're like if they were only going to fill like one need, what is like the one you'd want them to fill? Like if they only
Bullpen.
fill one.
I think it's
Yeah.
bullpen.
So if I say bullpen, do I get 2 bullpen arms, or do I just get 1?
Like
I
if they're
think you
going to
got
fill one problem area that you think they have that they need to fix, like is it
The
just the
biggest
bullpen?
problem is the bullpen.
Yeah.
But man, I hate the idea of sending out Will Warren or Marcus Stroman in a game 4 that it's a 2-1 series in
yeah.
either direction.
No, I mean it's absolutely a tough look, but I just think that if you can have that bullpen where you only need 4 good innings out of those 2, and you don't need to rely on them to go super deep into a game, we're
No,
better off.
I agree with you. I said, I if we could get high end bullpen arms, if
Right.
we could land Duran and Jax from the Twins, obviously I'd take that over whatever.
That's my dream transaction.
Yeah, but even if we got what John was talking about earlier, Santana, Bednar, fine.
I mean, we did the Santana train already,
I'm just saying, like, it would be an improvement.
which is terrible because I'm pretty sure he was a Yankee. Was it last year or 2 years ago? Santana,
I think too.
and like he just wasn't good.
Yeah. I mean, we'll see. They have to do more than one move. At the end of the day, like, they're the Yankees. Like,
Right.
I'm not settling for one move. Brian Cashman has come out and said, "We're going to town." You don't go to town for one move. Like,
Going
you
to
don't
town
make
means
you don't
you're
make a
trading
quote.
for Carlos Correa or Royce Lewis or
Well,
Emmanuel
and
Passe.
me and Corey have talked about this. Aaron Judge, Giancarlo Stanton, Max Reed, Carlos Rodon, Paul Goldschmidt, Cody Bellinger, even. Like, your best players on this roster are ready to win now and are not pieces to build for the future with. 13 players to build for the now with. And you have to go all in at the end of the day. I'm not saying to make stupid trades. I'm not saying, yeah, go trade, Spencer Jones or George Lombard for Dennis Santana. That's not like what I'm suggesting, but like, you got to move the prospects. You're the Yankees. You will attract free agents.
You will. Unfortunately, there just isn't a big free agency class, coming anytime soon outside of the Kyle Tucker led one.
Well,
now.
you have Kyle Tucker, and then in 2 years you have Tariq Scoble, who's going to make $400 million. So we're down to 4 teams that can compete for him already. And he's going to be a Yankee, Met, Dodger, or Blue Jay, and he's not going to be a Blue Jay. He's just going to use them to run up the price on one of the other 3 teams.
I think he's got to be a Yankee at that point.
Of course.
Has to be. But we're going to see what the Yankees do. I wonder do you think the Yankees make a trade before our next pod?
No.
You think they wait?
Yeah, knowing Brian Cashman and what he likes to do to my anxiety, absolutely.
Like, we're waiting till like 5:59 on Thursday
Well,
night.
I will say this, though. They did make the Jazz trade fairly early last year. So if there's a trade to be made, they do make it. The Jazz trade happened, what was that, like 10 days before the deadline last year? Like, it was so much earlier before that when we did the deadline pod, we weren't talking about it.
Let me see. I think it was like 3 days or something like that.
Before the deadline?
I don't know if it was 10 days. Let me see.
I thought, because I know I know
it was July 27th. It looks
on
like
on the day of the deadline, they were playing the Phillies in Philly. I was
Yes.
there, and Jazz was in the lineup, and Jazz hit 2 homers, and it was the longest game of the season.
it's July 27th. It looks like.
So a couple days beforehand.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, July 27th. The deadline is always like the 31st, I think.
Well, then I'll say, by the next time we record, probably not. By the next time the next pod comes out, probably.